purpose of this video is to review some topics that we will be practicing today. But first, I want to start with a quote from San Agustin that says, "If we live good lives, the times are also good. As we are, such are the times." And I really think that this quote makes lots of sense, especially these times that we cannot visit each other, that to communicate we can only call. I think it is very important to create good times and to decide the kind of life that we want to live. And we start with flashcard number 1. Flashcard number 1 is future tense with will and want. In the future tense, we have affirmative structure, subject, will, and the verb in the simple form. The negative, subject, will not, or the contraction that is want, and the verb in the simple form. We have yes-no questions. For yes-no questions, we start with will, then the subject, and the verb in the simple form. And we also have WH questions. The structure for WH questions starts with the WH word. Remember that we have the list of WH words: when, where, why, what, how. Remember that how is not a WH word, but we always include it in the list because we use it in the same way. And remember that all this information, you have it in your flashcards. And the structure for WH questions is WH word, will, the subject, and the verb in the simple form. And now we will be checking on some examples. Example number 1 that we have is affirmative. You will dance with me today. And here we have you corresponds to the subject, will, dance is the verb in the simple form, with me today. I want you to dance when you see this video. Will you? Example number 2 is affirmative 2. Alfredo will call his grandparents tonight. Alfredo corresponds to the verb, to the subject, will, call, the verb in the simple form, his grandparents tonight. Alfredo, you will call your grandparents tonight because you cannot visit them. Example number 3 is negative. Valentina won't go to the cinema today. Valentina is the subject. Won't is the contraction for will not. This is negative. Go corresponds to the verb in the simple form. To the cinema today. Will Adrian stay home today? Adrian, will you stay home today? I hope that you will. We have 2 possible answers. Yes, he will, and no, he won't. And finally, we have an example of a WH question. Where will you eat tomorrow? Where is the WH word, will, you is the subject, and it is the verb in the simple form. And now, we will be checking on flashcard number 2. Flashcard number 2 is future real conditional. In future real conditional, we have 2 clauses. We have the first clause, that is the if clause, and then we have the main clause. The if clause can be affirmative or can be negative. In the first structure, we have affirmative structure. If the subject, the verb, that can include s, es, or ies. And then we have the main clause, subject, will or want, and the verb in the simple form. Remember here, in the if clause, we said that the verb can have s, es, or ies. How is this? Remember that we said in class that he, she, and it are always cold. And so they need to wear a sweater, that is the S, a jacket, ES, or a blanket, IES. But if the subject is I, we, you, or they are always hot. And so they don't need sweater, no jacket, and no blanket. And then the subject, will or want, and the verb in the simple form for the main clause. If the if clause is negative, then the structure is if, subject, don't or doesn't, and the verb in the simple form. Remember the use of don't and doesn't. When the subject is he, she, or it, we use doesn't. When the subject is I, we, you, or they, then we use don't. If this information is a little bit small, I hope that you can see, but if you cannot see this, remember that you have all this information in your flashcards and in your notebooks. And the main clause that is the same, that can be affirmative or negative, subject, will or want, and the verb in the simple form. And now we will be checking on some examples. We have, if Pamela wins the lottery, she will travel around the world. The if clause in example number 1 is affirmative. If Pamela, the subject, wins with the S or the sweater, because Pamela is she, and the rest the lottery. And she, the subject, will and travel, the verb in the simple form. If Pamela wins the lottery, she will travel around the world. Will you, Pamela? If I don't visit my friends, I will call them. The example number 2 is negative. Here, if I is the subject, don't visit, the verb in the simple form, and the rest, my friends. I will call them, that will be the main clause. I have another example. If Daniela watches this video, she will smile. I bet you are smiling, Daniela. And this will be all. I really hope that this video helps you study and do the practice. If you have any doubt or any question or anything that you need, don't doubt in sending me a message and I will answer as soon as possible. See you.